Welcome to the Transitions Daily podcast. Transitions Daily is an online recovery group that offers a daily distribution of popular recovery resources accompanied by a secret Facebook group for discussion. We hope you enjoy today's readings.
This is Transitions Daily, April 5. My name is Dennis B. I'm an alcoholic from Copenhagen, Denmark. AA thoughts for the day. Virtuous. We of Alcoholics Anonymous are apt sometimes to brag of the virtues of our fellowship. Let us remember that none of these are earned virtues. We have been forced into them, to begin with, by the cruel lash of John Barleycorn. We have adopted these attitudes, these practices, this structure, not at first because we wished to, but because we had to. But today I think we stand willing to confirm permanently and gladly to the principles which experience under the grace of God has taught us. Bill W., Alcoholics Anonymous, Comes of Age, page 224. Thoughts to consider. Unless I accept my virtues, I'll be overwhelmed with my faults. Acronyms. Who, willingness, honestly. Once again for the blind kid. Acronyms. Who, WHO, willingness, honesty, open-mindedness. Just for today, traditions from the 3 legacies of Alcoholics Anonymous. You'll remember that episodes back in our living room in Clinton Street. That was the time when my group told me, this is Bill W. talking, could never become an AA professional. With nearly every tradition, much the same thing has happened. At first I obeyed because I had to. I would have lost my standing in AA if I had not. After a while I began to obey because I saw the traditions were wise and right, while I confirmed because I was right to do it, I still resisted inwardly. This was particularly true of anonymity. Today I hope I have come to a time in my AA life when I can obey because I really want to obey, because I really want the traditions for myself as well as for AA as a whole. 2001, Alcoholics Anonymous World Services Incorporated. Alcoholics Anonymous Comes of Age, page 136. Daily Reflections. True Brotherhood. We have not once sought to be one in a family, to be friend among friends, to be a worker among workers, to be a useful member of society. Always we try to struggle to the top of the heap, or to hide underneath it. This self-centered behavior blocked a partnership relation with any one of those about us. Of true brotherhood we had small comprehension. That is from 12 Steps and 12 Traditions on page 53. This message, continuing in step 4, was the first one I heard loud and clear. I hadn't seen myself in print before, prior to my coming into AA. I knew of no place that could teach me how to become a person among persons. From my very first meeting, I saw people doing just that, and I wondered what they had. One of the reasons that I'm a happy, sober alcoholic today is that I'm learning this most important lesson. Copyright 1990, Alcoholics Anonymous World Services, Inc. As Bill sees it. Spiritual kindergarten. We are only operating a spiritual kindergarten in which people are enabled to get over drinking and find the grace to go on living a better effect. Each man's theology has to be his own quest, his own affair. When the big book was being planned, some members thought it ought to be Christian in the doctrinal sense. Others had no objection to the use of the word God, but wanted to avoid doctrinal issues. Spirituality, yes. Religion, no. Still others wanted a physiological book to lure the alcoholic in. Once in, he could take God or leave him alone as he wished. To the rest of us, this was shocking, but happily we listened. Our group conscience was at work to construct the most acceptable and effective book possible. Every voice was playing its appointed part. Our atheist and agnostic written our gateways so that all who suffer might pass through, regardless of their belief or lack of belief. The first one is a letter from 1954, and the second one is from AA Comes of Age, page 162, 63, and 67. Big Book quote. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that they trust in God and clean house. Not that they trust in God, that he trusts in God and that he cleans house. This is from Alcoholics Anonymous, 4th edition, Working with Others, page 98. 24 hours a day. AA thought for the day. People often ask what makes the AA program work. One of the answers is that AA works because it gets people away from themselves and the center of the universe. And it teaches them to rely more on the fellowship of others and on the strength from God. Forgetting ourselves in fellowship, prayer, and working with others is what makes the AA program work. Are these things keeping me sober? Meditation for the day. God is the great interpreter of one human personality to another. Even personalities who are the nearest together have much in their natures that remains seated book to each other. And only as God enters and encounters their lives are the mysteries of each revealed to the other. Each personality is so different. God alone understands perfectly the language of each and can interpret between the two. Here we find the miracles of change and the true interpretation of life. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may be in the right relationship with God. I pray that God will interpret to me the personalities of other people so that I can understand them and help them. Hazelton Foundation, P.O. Box 176, Center City, Minnesota 55012. My name is Dennis and I am an alcoholic.
We hope you enjoyed today's readings. You can also receive Transitions Daily via email and discuss today's readings in our secret Facebook group. So for more information, go to dailyaaemails.com today.
Other than the 24 hours a day reading, unless otherwise specified, all quotes copyright Alcoholics Anonymous World Services, Inc. 1952, 1957, 1967, 1973, 1975, 1976, 1980, 1981, 1984, 1985, 1988, or 2001.